You are listening to In Tune here on BBC Radio 3 on BBC Music Day. And we're talking about the power of music, how it can help our well-being. So who better to talk to than James Sills, who's joined me in the studio, who's written a book called Do Sing. I think it's in that tone of voice.
It's short to the point, isn't it?
It is. Reclaim your voice, find your singing tribe. I couldn't agree more. Tell us why you felt it was important to really try and get that message out there. Why is it so good for us?
There's something really fundamentally good in singing with other people, and I think we all know that deep down, whether it's singing in a crowd at a festival or singing in your childhood. But it's something that almost all of us become estranged from when we get older. Often we stop singing at school. And so from my work as a choir leader and a vocal leader, I see so many people who've stopped singing for maybe 20 or 30 years and come back to it and get so much from it. And so the hope really is that the book reaches those people who have stopped singing. And so it kind of lays out the reasons why we should keep on singing and gives a few practical tips how you might be able to go about doing that.
Well, I'm sure there are lots of people listening for whom that message resonates loud and clear, because I'm one, sang a lot at school, haven't sung properly since, certainly not in public, which I think is, I was going to say the usual thing is, and that's the way it should be, but of course you would completely disagree, because we can all sing, can't we?
Yeah.
We all ought not to be shy of singing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people have quite traumatic experiences where they're told at school not to sing, or they think that singing is for somebody else. And if the key message of the book is anything, it's that singing is for absolutely everyone, and no matter who you are, where you are at in your life. Singing's got the capacity to be, at the very least, life-affirming. And in the case of some people that I work with, they've told me that actually singing with other people in a choir has helped actually save their lives. I work with the Wrexham One Love Choir, which is a choir for people who've experienced homelessness and other forms of marginalisation. And so that sense of community and that sense of positive achievement that you get in a choir is so important.
There's the mental well-being element. There's that feeling, as you say, of being part of a crowd and being in a community again. There are real health benefits as well, aren't there?
There are, absolutely. And when I was writing the book, the more I looked into it, the more studies kept popping up. So I've kind of referred to them in the book, but also drawn on my own experience. But there are so many. One of the most amazing ones is that our heartbeats synchronise when we sing. Through breathing together, but also lots of studies about singing releasing endorphins, lowering cortisol levels so we feel less stressed, more in the present moment. And there's a huge amount of singing for health choirs, such as for lung health. There's a 10 of us cancer choirs. There's, that could be a whole other book in itself. So the health benefits really are so numerous, and then that's before we even get to the emotional benefits. So singing being a safe place for you to express yourself in a big group.
Because sometimes singing really can release all sorts of feelings, both happy often, but also it can sometimes let out an awful lot of stuff which you might have been holding in.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I think actually that singing is a really safe space to do that, and it's probably best for it to come out in a rehearsal room than then another point in your life where you might not be expecting it. And so not many weeks go by when there isn't someone who's shedding a tear in one of my choir rehearsals, and almost always they'll come up to me afterwards and said, "Oh, I really needed that." And I think that's really positive.
And if people are listening and thinking, you know what, I want to take the plunge, what's the best way of finding a good choir? It's going to suit your personality and suit your level as well, your ability.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, this kind of is the third part of the book, really, the find your tribe bit, because most people think a choir is either, singing the Hallelujah chorus or it's like Glee. And of course, they're both great examples, but they're not for everybody. So what I would say is do lots of research, really think about the type of group that you want to sing with, the type of people, the type of environment you want to be in, even things like where groups rehearse. For example, I run a choir in a pub, which attracts some people who might not normally come to a traditional choir rehearsal. So I think you need to think of all of the factors that surround the singing experience, and then just take the plunge and go and see how it feels and see how it works for you.
And I'm going to put you on the spot. Favourite song to make yourself feel better?
The favourite song to make myself feel better? At the minute, I've been listening a lot to Higher and Higher by Jackie Wilson.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's so nice to meet you, and good
Thank
luck
you,
with
you too,
all
Katie.
your endeavours. And the book is Do Sing, Reclaim Your Voice, Find Your Singing Tribe by James Sills. It's a jolly good read. Just get singing. I think that's the message, isn't it? We're going to hear now one of the